Hey everybody, Spidey Librarian here, and tonight I am really excited to bring you a reaction to trailer 3 of Ghostbusters Afterlife. Usually, when a new trailer drops, it drops during the workday. In this case, the trailer for Afterlife dropped today, right as I was getting into work. And I like to record my first viewings of a trailer so that people can see my initial reactions, my genuine initial reactions. So I realized pretty early in the day that that the trailer had dropped and that there was essentially nothing I could do about it. Anyways, lo and behold, I have gotten to the point where now I am able to do a reaction. And oh god, I've been excited and tormented that I couldn't just do the reaction right then, because whenever I see new Ghostbusters content, I want to watch it immediately. So before I jump into the viewing, I just want to do a little talk about this franchise and what it means to me. Obviously, Ghostbusters is a huge part of my childhood. I was probably 6 or 7 when the movie came out. And I know I didn't watch it in the movie theaters, but I remember being very young and being really sick. And my grandmother brought home a VCR when I was sick. She was excitedly telling me, "Oh, I got you some Ghostbusters," and I got to watch it. And what I really remember from the movie is that it was funny, and it was also a little bit scary, and I remember it being funnier than it was scary. And for a long time, I had a lot of very positive feelings associated with Ghostbusters. By the time the second movie came out, I was older. I wanted to watch it. I did watch it. I mean, not quite as good as the first one, but it held up pretty well, and it was a good it was a decent enough successor. So I really enjoyed it, and only recently just kind of rewatched it for the first time in years. And I guess I really kind of came to realize just how kind of emotionally tied into these characters and this world, just how tied in I am to it emotionally. Yeah, I love this franchise. I love these characters. They are funny. They are flawed, and they are also, there's just a lot of positive feelings tied up in this franchise for me. So I'm really excited. I was beyond happy when they announced Ghostbusters Afterlife and what the premise was. Um, and just a quick word on the 2016 movie, which I don't really have a problem with. I liked it just fine. I kind of approached it the same way that I approached the Dresden Files series, which, as long as you're not expecting the books, those are an okay interpretation of Harry Dresden and his universe. They're not spot on by any stretch of the imagination, but if you think of it as a different flavor of Dresden, you're good. That's kind of how I thought about the 2016 movie. I actually liked that they were kind of an all women's team, and I loved the concept of it. And I didn't have any issues with the 2016 movie. I didn't understand all the hate that it got, but upon reflecting upon it and reflecting upon the original two movies, from a storytelling perspective, from a direction perspective, I don't want to say it doesn't compare, but they are definitely better than I feel 2016 ended up being. And so, while I don't bear the film any ill will, it is definitely a film that is kind of below the first two in quality. And I'm willing to admit there may be some nostalgia tied up in that. I might be biased. But I certainly enjoyed the premise of it, and I thought the premise was a knockout. I just am not sure that the execution really stands up now that we've had about 5 years between now and that particular film. When the first trailer for Afterlife dropped, I was astonished at how overcome I was with emotion when I learned what the premise was. And I think the idea was that, I'm one of those people that I had heard that they had been talking about a third Ghostbusters movie after the second one had gotten made, and that it was essentially stuck in development hell. So, I'm one of those people that had kind of emotionally accepted that there simply was not going to be a third Ghostbusters movie in the way that most people would expect it. And it's kind of like with Spider-Man in the MCU. There was a time that I had emotionally accepted that we were never going to see the web slinger in the MCU, and then suddenly the sky opens up and it happens. And I think that's kind of a similar thing here. I was like, I'd heard about the Ghostbusters video game, and that was basically going to be the best version of a sequel that fans could hope to get. I had kind of emotionally accepted it. I was like at peace with it. I was good. I was okay. So when I heard about Afterlife and what the premise was, I was just kind of floored. And I'm like, how can they make a movie without Egon? Because of course, Harold Ramis, he's gone. He's passed. And God, it's hard to talk about that without feeling emotional. So, and then I saw that trailer, and I was immediately blown away by the little girl, Phoebe, who is played by McKenna Grace, and how she looked exactly like Egon. And I'm like, is this Egon's child? Are we going to get a Ghostbusters daughter? And then she pulls aside the jumpsuits, and you see the name Spengler on it, and I was jumping up and down for joy. And I think the time has come for us to watch it. Here we go. Whoa. Wait a minute.
Long?
Who was that?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Is that Egon?
I found this in my living room.
Wait a minute.
Remember that
Thing's
scene?
real? A town that has no fault lines is shaking on a daily basis. What is that?
Okay.
Maybe it's the apocalypse.
All right.
Oh my god.
A lot of stuff we've
This isn't
seen.
mine. It's a gateway.
What do we do?
Ooh.
I love this car.
Oh, yes.
What exactly is happening here?
We need to finish what our grandfather started.
That's not good.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Hi.
Hey, bud.
That was a total Rick Moranis moment there. Okay, wow. So one of the things that I love about these trailers is they find a new way each time to kind of tug at your heartstrings a little bit. And so and this time for me at least, it was seeing Egon. Was that Egon at the beginning of the movie? Like, that's kind of what I really, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure everyone is like, was that him? I can't. Yeah, it's. I cannot wait to see this movie. I want this movie now. I wanted this movie last summer. Give it to me, So, but I will definitely be rewatching this probably a million times. But there are quite a few lines in there that I missed because I was busy reacting to things, but, you know, like, okay, was that Egon? What was she saying? Something about finishing what their grandfather started. Really surprised so far that we have not actually seen any of the original Ghostbusters yet in the movie, but, like, I mean, you know it's coming. Like, hopefully they'll do one more trailer. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will just leave the old lions for the movie. That would actually be a pretty smart move. But yeah, I was expecting any information about Egon to basically be secondhand, to be passed down by one of the returning actors or mentioned, you know, as part of, I don't know, flashback. Well, I mean, that, for all we know, that was a flashback that we saw. God, I hope that was Egon. I'm sorry. I'm more than a little giddy here, and I am, you know, like so many people, I am ready for this film. So, in any case, there were a lot of good kind of little comedic moments. Paul Rudd in Walmart was great. The terror dog and his hey buddy, like that was a total Rick Moranis moment, you know, when he sees the dog, he's like, hey Poochie, how you doing? Maybe I got a milk bone on, you know, like yeah, no, I'm just super excited for this movie, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And from what I've seen of the actors in this movie and the producers and the crew and everything, like everyone really enjoyed the experience and just the idea of the possibility of doing more of these, because I know Jason Reitman has brought up, or at least kind of teased the idea that there could be more, and there might not necessarily just be Ghostbusters in, you know, Somerville, Oklahoma. There might be, you know, Ghostbusters, you know, all over the world. Which I'm just like, yes, please, just more, more of that. I thank you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this reaction, and if you did, go ahead and thwip on the like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know that you enjoyed this content and would like to see more. I am premiering many of these reactions on my YouTube and Twitch channels, so you'll want to follow me on both platforms. Fortunately, I have the same name on both, Spidey Librarian, so that way you'll know whenever I go live. I'm also active on other social media. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, also under the name Spidey Librarian. What did you think of this trailer? I would really like to hear your opinions, so go ahead and drop them in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Thanks again for watching. This is Spidey Librarian, and until my next upload, I'll be wishing you a good day.